How did you get into this industry? There must be a good story behind this.
Well, I got into it because I was an avid reader of TV Guide as a kid. Stacked them up on my bedside table. The page I read the most was this little page in every issue about FCC regulations that probably nobody else who got TV Guide cared about. But it got me hooked on how this industry and government interfaced. And that got into a lifelong interest as I became a lawyer, and couldn't wait to get out of a Wall Street law firm I was at and down to Washington as the congressional counsel to the committee that oversaw the FCC. And from there I became a writer of the nation's communications laws, most importantly the first federal cable act that governs the entire regulation of the cable industry, something that federal law had never addressed before. And with that I kind of had the opportunity to move from being the policy provider of the framework for the development of the cable industry into actually being a business person engaged in it.
So if you look back at your career, what was the greatest setback that you encountered, and how did you deal with it?
The one that I remember feeling the greatest pit in my stomach at the time, the one which really hit me in the gut, was the 2-year effort to transform the cable policy of the country and create a national cable law. 2 days before the Congress was adjourning, it looked like it had stalled in its tracks. It was over. The National Cable Television Association basically threw in the towel. And so I spent an entire night, through the night into the morning, with the chief counsel for the Republican Judiciary Committee, trying to come up with a compromise. In that 48 hours, I went from feeling total dejection, the worst setback I could have imagined of 2 years of work evaporating, to believing now we could get it done. And with a few hours left in the session, we rushed it through both houses of Congress, got it through, and sent it to President Reagan for signature.
We're looking for young, vibrant people to join us. What would you tell them about the benefits of getting into our industry?
Well, there's so many different ways to participate in this industry. But what the media industry is not only a source of great entertainment to deal with giving people an escape in their lives, which all lives need that, and not only a way to shape the culture in a way that you're participating in how a society views itself and how its values are developed and shared, not to mention the shared conversation about the kinds of things that people participate in some broader sense together, where you can talk about arts or cultural elements of the media world as a shared experience, which are certainly a very important part of giving people a sense of being bound together in ways where lives are disparate and isolated. It is a common thread of experience in being able to watch great television or other forms of media in a way that provide that shared social experience.
Now, did you ever have a mentor?
There have been a lot of people who have given me good guidance along the way. I guess the model that I was lucky enough to be able to see sometimes at very close range, in part because of his love for business news, was Jack Welch when he was running GE. And just being in a company where you were able to see how a leader like that was able to drive businesses, allow new businesses to be created like a CNBC, and watch how he motivated an enormous organization running a company which many people thought was going to go away and needed to be reinvented and driven into all kinds of new horizons, so that we could at TiVO remain truly relevant as we now serve 20 of the top 25 operators in the United States with the next generation of advanced television, where most thought the cable industry had left us behind as dead, have always thought back to some of the lessons that Jack Welch laid out there for everybody who was under his umbrella, and those have been great motivations for me along the way.
Well, you're, I think, in a very unique spot to give us a preview of what the next 10 years, where the industry is going to go in the next 10 years, and some of the things you think will drive that change.
And when you combine your ability to access basically any program in any form and through any package in a way that you're much more in control of devising your own television diet, the piece of that I think is going to become a much bigger factor is the personalization through filtering of relevance from all kinds of data inputs that are able to be put together. As that expansion of choice continues to develop, that's going to be a very exciting nexus point. Infinite choice meets personalization and the ability to tame just for your own personal needs exactly what you want to get your arms around that's most valuable to you in any given day. And that's an exciting thing for young people, I think, to get involved with, because everybody thinks we've continually hit the new frontier and all of a sudden it's going to stabilize. This will never stabilize. It is constantly going to be in motion. Therefore, constantly new ideas are going to be important. New innovators will constantly change the approach to how all this is done. But those basic themes I laid out, I think, are going to be the ones that people can jump on board and find plenty of opportunity to be a part of.